Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Hey,
Good. How are you?
I'm
Oh,
good. Sorry
I
about
forgot.
craziness.
There you go. Now you can see me.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey.
yeah, thank you so much for your patience. Sorry about that craziness. Of course,
No worries.
as I was trying to get it up and going, the internet started going all wonky and I couldn't pull it
Yeah.
to scale. So, all
No
that
worries.
stuff. Hey,
Hey, that's my husband, Jason.
Hello.
hey, Jason. I
Yeah,
like your
Jason and Jason.
Right?
name.
I know it's funny. Like one time, Kim's like, "Isn't it weird saying Jason's wife?" I'm like, "No, because I'm Jason's wife too." And she kind of looked like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "I have a Jason too."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Well, thank you so much for taking time to chat.
Sure.
I'm so excited about this because I think there's just so much potential here um
Yeah.
for and Kim and I had a number of conversations. Uh the, the guy Musin, um,
Mhm.
you know, great guy,
Mhm.
super nice. Um, but I always felt like there was always something going on. I could never really put my finger on it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, you're getting all of these views, but there's nothing's really seeming to translate
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shift over. And of course, anytime I would try to talk to him, I was always kind of more or less, I guess, being made to feel like, well, I'm the expert in this,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, well, I can't get around, the the results here. And then when
Right.
Kim pulled up that chart and was like,
Yeah.
it really hit the nail on the head. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to uh, show you not only what I'm doing, but also see what you discover. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I don't at all profess to be an expert in this. I'm just like trying
Yeah.
stuff and
Gotcha.
seeing what works. I've I have talked to a few other people that are also investors that use Facebook,
Right.
and just to see kind of what it
That's
is
my
that they're
phone.
doing.
Right.
And
And it seemed like you're following the same things from the videos that I saw.
yeah, and like some of the stuff, frustratingly, as it does, Facebook continues to change things here and there.
Mhm.
And so there used to be a thing specifically for property, and then
Right.
it was housing, and then they've now changed that. So
Right.
and I get it. I guess they want to, make sure that it's just houses and housing. But
Mhm.
so now it's like people are kind of trying a few different things. There's some that I've talked to that put it under miscellaneous, and then some
Mhm.
that put it under gardening, and then some
Right.
put it under sports and outdoors.
Right.
I guess for me, it really doesn't matter. I'm just, trying whatever. So
Yep.
but yeah, let me I guess share my screen and
Okay.
and I'll also, by the way, like all of the ads and all of the pictures and all that kind of stuff, I'll make sure to have all of it shared with you.
Okay.
That way you've got, full access, and you can kind of do your own system, whatever works best for
Okay.
you. So I'll make sure to
Yeah,
do
that's
that
great.
after. Let me.
I want to do some research too on the whole subject myself because I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
there's stuff that hasn't been tapped into yet that we can definitely check out.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I mean, like anything, yeah, that you come across would be great.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's going on here? There we go. Okay, I don't. Oh, whoops. I think I accidentally deleted the wrong thing or X'd it out. There we go. All right. So yeah, so majority of this you already know.
Uh-huh.
You'll whatever Facebook page you're on, you'll go to the marketplace over here,
Okay.
and the location right here. I always include for my ads. I always include the location of where the land is.
Right.
I will occasionally change the location here
Okay.
because this location has to do with where in the marketplace you're doing it.
Gotcha.
So like kind of like Craigslist, I
Right.
could be posting something, but it's like, okay, well, which Craigslist are you doing? Are you doing the Las Vegas
Right. The East
Craigslist?
Bay or
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for this one, I'm just going to have it as Denver because I've seen a lot of people in Denver wanting
Yep.
a property. But again, you can change this, try
Okay.
out different cities. I'm leaving so much control over to you to figure out,
Yeah.
like you said, what works for you.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and then I go over to selling, and these are, the different ads that I have posted. Um,
Okay.
if one is like really underperforming, like sometimes I posted one the other day, and I think Facebook got like hung up on it, like it flagged it for whatever reason.
I know. And it
That's
doesn't even tell you, does it?
Yeah,
Like
it's like
why?
sometimes it will be a very obvious thing, like I forgot, you can't sell animals on Facebook, and
Oh, I saw
it,
that in your video where you said it thought you were selling wild horses or
right,
something.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
had wild horses. I
Sorry.
had, no,
Yeah, he's
that's
cleaning the
hilarious.
garage and I needed to get out of my virus infected room. So
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
don't
yeah.
mind him in the background.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so from what I could, assume, I assume that Facebook saw the word horse and just like
Hmm.
flagged the whole thing.
Yeah, I
And
mean, that's easy to do.
yeah, and so there's some of them that it's pretty obvious, and then there's some where it's like I have no idea. I just feel like Facebook
Right.
is just being whatever. So, I hit the you can hit the thing to um, oh gosh, I'm sorry,
Contested, I'm
yeah,
guessing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, my words.
Like, no worries. I worked at
Yeah,
YouTube, so they had the same kind of process where you could basically let them know, hey, this is not what you think it is. And then what they usually do at that point is they have a peer review it, and then they can tell you whether or not it gets approved.
yeah, and
Hmm.
so yeah, similar thing,
Yeah.
and usually it takes them between 24 and 48 hours, and like I did it, but then it's like by the time they put it back up, I think as of this
Oh,
morning it had
hey, Kim.
um it
So you got people in the background too?
yeah, I've got people in the background, you've got people in the background. It'd be so funny if she walked by with a BB-8 as well.
I know, right? Yeah, he
Um,
made it. That's why.
yeah. Um, but yeah, by the time it was put up, I think as of this morning, it had like 6 views, and I was like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off. There's no point in
exactly.
having it up.
I mean, it's hard too. I know with like holidays and stuff, and
Yeah,
President's Week is coming up, so I know some people are probably busy looking at cars too, because I know certain people are looking at certain things. So
absolutely.
yeah.
And so yeah, so when I go to click on here and sell something, I'll
Uh-huh.
go here to items, and then this is
Okay.
that area that I was saying that there used to be a thing down here that was like property, and then it was
Yeah,
um,
it's unfortunate that they took it away because that's like the
yeah.
perfect location for
Oh
your
yeah, it was so perfect, and I don't know why they took that off because it would seem to make things simpler. Um,
maybe it just wasn't a big
yeah, yeah,
topic.
yeah, for sure. Um, and uh,
Yeah.
and then of course, if you go to home sales, it tries to make you fill out all this stuff.
Right.
And I picked up from a guy on Facebook that what he would do is he would basically put up the pictures and
Mm-hmm.
the property description, and then he
Gotcha.
would hit save draft, and then he would go to his phone and post it from there, and that was a way you
Okay.
could get around this. But
Gotcha.
for me, like I just haven't had good results doing it.
It
Anytime,
seemed like you did because when I was looking at the stuff that Kim had sent me when I was kind of looking at the ads that were on your the one I look at and on Kim's Facebook, it looked
Mhm.
like the ones that you did on your personal Facebook did better in the home sales category than they did in the other ones.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well
I don't
then,
know if Kim shared that with you.
no,
She had me do
scratch
that
what I
whole
said then.
research thing. Yeah. She had me do like a whole research thing on your personal one. She said because yours made the most money, and then your business page and her business page had Musin's ads, and she was wondering why. But I looked, and the ones that you had that had the most were the ones that were posted in the home sales.
Wow. Okay. Well, great. Well, then disregard what I said. So,
Well, yeah,
um,
no, that's why I said I kind of want to do research too. I just haven't
yeah.
because I've been sick, but I want to
Oh, yeah.
look into it too myself because I want to get the sales too just as much as you guys do because obviously there's incentive for me and I want to, help find out stuff too. So I do want to try to
Yeah.
do research this week and see if I can find out,
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
that they have online.
Oh yeah, and Kim was saying make sure yeah that anytime you're doing research or anything like if you're doing anything for us, clock in.
Okay, sounds good.
Nothing is pro bono. So
Okay.
um so make sure you're getting paid for everything.
Okay,
Um
sounds good.
and but yeah, I mean uh and that's the thing of why finally I was like I just can't, I like Musine as a person, but I just
Yeah.
can't continue to work with him because for me, yeah, it's like especially seeing how many views he was getting, I was like,
Yeah.
that's proof that there's that many people and more out there want
Right.
property.
Right.
But but if you're not willing to like try and figure out how to engage with those people
Mhm.
and see and just ask a simple question like, okay, you had some of the ads, it was like you had like 6,000 people look at this
Mhm.
thing and you're telling me none of them wanted to buy. Like that's worth asking why.
Right.
And
And see what I was wondering too, because Kim had mentioned to me that you actually have you get a lot of sales, and what I noticed too, even just in the Facebook messages that we're sending versus what you're sending is completely different. So
wow, okay.
yeah, so I don't know. I was gonna talk to I was hoping Kim would be there too, but I guess she can hear what we're saying, and
Yeah,
so
yeah, she can
I
hear.
was thinking too, because most of the time, like somebody will message you and then you'll say like, oh, thank you for messaging me, please give me your number so I can give you a call or whatever. Whereas most of the time what we're doing is if somebody messages us and says, oh, is this still available? We'll say, yeah, it is. What questions do you have? So it's a
Yeah,
completely different approach too. So I'm wondering if, do most of those people call you or do you still have people that are just like, didn't really want to chat?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so again, I always want to make sure that I'm saying like I'm not the expert in this, and so
Right, right,
um you know I'm always for just like doing whatever works,
right.
and just trying to learn and get better, and so with the reason why I started doing that with Facebook Messenger um,
Mhm.
was it came more out of um, as things really started to take off and move at a
Mhm.
faster rate, and there was just more and more that I was having to do and take on.
Gotcha.
I was trying to look for not just in this, but in any aspect of the business I could. I was trying to figure out ways to just like get quicker and better
Mhm.
systematize and and one of the things that I started noticing early on with Facebook is that, and you've already seen this
Mhm.
definitely, is there will be people that are more or less like tire kickers, like
Yep.
they're
Yep.
just probably like it's 3 in the morning and they're just like scrolling through ads and they're just clicking
Yep.
I'm interested kind of button, and
I've done that, so I know, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
clicked on one by accident, and the guy's like, "Oh, are you interested in this?" I'm like, "No, I hit that by accident."
right, yeah, yeah, I've definitely had
Yep.
those. People are like,
Yep.
no, I didn't mean to click you.
Yeah.
um and so I initially when we first started, I mean literally like had maybe one or two properties and
Mhm.
not a lot to do, it was easier for me to go back and be
Right.
personally messaging every single person.
Right.
And initially, like, I wasn't trying to get them out of Facebook Messenger. And I know that in some of those videos that I'm guessing Kim shared with you, you
Mhm.
know, I think that's also the perspective is don't be so quick to try and get them out. And,
Gotcha.
you know, and I, you know, definitely get that.
Mhm.
I think I got to a point where I was having so many messages and I couldn't keep track of, you know,
Gotcha.
what was what. And
Okay.
you might be way better at that than me. I'm just showing you more how I got to
Right.
there because of my you know, whatever.
Right.
um that with so many other things going on, and I was just, you know, things were starting to get so busy.
Right.
I tried to spend a little bit of time, and I've tweaked it as time has gone on, but I tried to come up with, and you've already seen, it's kind of like a
Uh-huh.
little standard, uh, typically near the bottom of the thing, a typical like paragraph or whatever that I've crafted
Right.
that, you know, is more or less like, hey, thank you so much.
Mhm.
You know, if you're interested, you know, please share your info and I can get whatever
Right.
to you ASAP. Um, and I would say that I don't have the
Stats.
percentage breakdown, yeah, or stats
Right.
or anything. But I would say that I'm having a pretty good success rate with that. Um,
Okay.
I think the reason why, and again, if someone wants to talk, like, and just stay in, and I've had that before, they're
Mhm.
like, I'd rather just keep this in here, then I'm like,
Right.
completely fine. Like, I'm not against it. It was
Right.
just more me trying to figure out like quicker ways of doing things.
Gotcha.
And, you know, my kind of, can you see this right now?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I couldn't remember if I shared the screen. Yeah. So like for some of them, you know, if they're doing the, is this
Right.
available? It's hard for me to know whether or not, okay, are they being serious? Is this
Yeah,
one
see,
of
and
those?
this is what I'm talking about, like your message here, because normally what we just say is, hey, you know, whatever their name is, yeah, it is. What questions do you have, you know, that I can answer? And so they'll usually put like, oh, what's the address? Or, you know, and to me, I wonder because I noticed in your ads, you put the address most of the time, at least in the ones that I saw.
Hmm.
And it seems to eliminate the people that have those small questions, and it gets to the people that more have the serious questions,
Yeah.
like, oh, is the down payment based on credit, or is that amount, you know, negotiable? They'll
Mhm.
usually be much more serious questions than like, oh, what's the address, or, you know,
Yeah.
and then they don't respond back after you send it, and it's like, okay, well then it, you know, that was kind of a waste.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, there will always be, you know, people that they were just going through, they saw the picture,
Right.
just, you know, clicked, is this available? They
Yeah.
didn't look at the ad or anything.
Yeah.
Um, I guess in terms of like what I put in the actual ad, I
Mhm.
try to do like, I don't want to just do like, when I went in and I looked at some of Musin's ads, I was
Mhm.
blown away at how little was in there. And I get for
Yeah.
him, you know, I get in his mind it was, well, that's how you get all the views and
Mhm.
all the interest. But as you were saying, it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
and
well, if
his
you're
had
showing
way
it
less than
here,
yours. Yours were in the thousands, his were in the hundreds.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
had more information. You had the acreage, you put the address, you put all that stuff in there. So it was, to me, I personally liked, if I didn't know you guys, I would have liked your ad better just because it has information that a lot of people are generally going to ask.
yeah, yeah. And
So,
so my, you know, my I remember hearing this and I kind of prescribed to it that I want to give enough to hopefully, if people are actually looking at the copy,
right,
want to weed out some of those questions of like, you know, where is this? You know, how much down or whatever. Like I want
right,
to weed out some of those things, but at the same time, hopefully leave enough where they still need to contact me.
right,
And
exactly,
and so, you know, like I'll put on a lot of them discounted cash price available upon request. So,
right,
you know, and who knows if that does anything, but I at least want to communicate like, hey, I've got more info, but you got to
Yep.
talk to me if you want it.
Exactly.
And so, you know, this guy, you know, I think, I think a lot of the dialoguing with the "is this available" or "I'm interested" thing
Right.
came more out of at one point got so frustrated with feeling like I was talking to robots, like because
Yes.
like I would ask a question, I would like go back and like look and see if they said anything. They didn't.
Yep.
And I just want to type back like "screw you, man."
Right.
But
No. You're like, I
waste
took
more of
my
my time.
time to put this in
Yeah,
there, and you're not even responding back.
yeah.
Yep.
And so I whatever question they always have, I always answer it. And
Okay.
in my and this might not be communicated, but at least
Okay.
like what my thinking is behind this you know, paragraph is
Gotcha.
me saying, you know, hey, definitely if you're interested in this property, do me a favor, um,
Right.
and you know, let me know basically your info so that I can send you like everything you want, info, pricing,
Gotcha.
pictures, and then I put in here as kind of like, hey, if you are feeling hesitant to give your information, you can see our
Right.
current list of properties. Here's my website, and even like
Gotcha.
you know, quid pro quo or whatever. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you my info as well. Like,
Gotcha.
I know that you're in me asking for your info. Bless you. Me asking for your info is possibly a sensitive topic.
Yep.
My info in case you would rather just contact me. That's kind of the
Gotcha.
reasoning why I put that. But again,
Okay.
you do what works. So like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this is what I'm doing right now, and I'm having good enough results that I haven't felt the need to change. But also,
Gotcha.
even if like you know, it did necessitate, or like even if I guess right now, if it was like, hey, you're getting like a, you know, 60, I'm just making up a number, but like you're
Right.
60% success rate with this. If you change this, you get a 70%.
Yep.
Although it is better, I just have so many other irons in the fire that I haven't really had time to focus on that.
Right. And
So
see, and that's what I want to kind of model, because if you're having the success and we're not so much on my end, then I want to kind of do what you're doing, so that way we kind of have it all straight across the board. You know what I mean? There's
yeah,
no,
and
and
it
you
could
wanted
be,
more emails and stuff, which Kim told me. And I think this way it would help too.
yeah, and it could be, you could even like, you know, I could make sure you have access to both, and you could literally do like an A/B test.
Okay.
You could use my personal and my work, and
Okay.
again, not at all like you clock in for everything, not at all trying to give you anything extra. But
Right.
you know, if it, as a matter of like, if you're wanting to experiment, you could literally
Yeah.
do the same picture, same ad, same same picture, same whatever, but like
Okay.
do different ads and see, and you post them at the same time, so you literally
Right.
see, okay, what's tracking better,
Right.
and then you get your results hopefully of like, okay, well, you know, they both have their merits, but you know, 9 times out of 10 this one gets better results, so we're going to go this way, you know. That could be a way that you could, you know, find out. um,
Gotcha.
but but yeah, so you know, basically uh you know, I hired a several months ago, I hired a woman to write a bunch of ads, and
Okay.
I will say, like, they get the job done in terms of if I just need something to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm kind of feeling they're more geared towards Craigslist, where
Gotcha.
it almost seems like, in my opinion, the difference between Craigslist and Facebook, Craigslist, it's more like, hey, less is more. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think what Musine was doing in Facebook would have done better in Craigslist. Like,
Gotcha.
where Craigslist, you've got so much out there that
Mm-hmm.
I think, excuse me, that people are more concerned with if you pull up an ad in Craigslist and it's like this long copy of stuff, people aren't going
Right.
to click on it. They're not going to bother reading. But if you click on it and you've got like 3 bullet points
Right.
and a call to action, people will like more oftentimes click on that.
Mhm.
And so the ads that I had this woman write, I think are more for that, where they're more vague. They don't have
Mhm.
like specific property details.
Gotcha.
It's more, kind of like
A generic you can post on multiple properties.
right, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
Dreamland, low finance, like it's these kind of
Right.
like things that I'm not super crazy about anymore. Um,
Yeah.
and
See, and
but
I
I
liked yours too, where you put like 2 acre, lakefront property. To me, I'd click
yeah,
on that because I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty good, and especially in front of a lake, I want to see that.
yeah, and I guess like my biggest thing, and again, it's like you do whatever works. Like my biggest thing is I
Right.
try in the title to have like something specific about the property, and
Mhm.
then usually either the location in the title or the price in the title. Like I want
Okay.
something else. And then within the ad, of course, I always have the terms price and
Right.
the location info. Of course,
Okay.
like you can always experiment as well if you I'll make sure you have all this info, but
Okay.
if you don't want to you want to try out some different cash prices instead of terms, you could do that as well. Like it doesn't always have to be terms.
Right.
You could advertise like whatever the cash price is, just that's fine too.
Okay.
um, but I just did this morning. I just typed this up real quick. Again,
Okay.
didn't put like a ton of thought behind it, but
Right.
there's a property in Forbes Park that we just got. That as I was looking at it, I was trying to think of like what to put, and I was like, I just need to type something. So
Right. Yeah.
so I just did a somewhat generic thing like the keyword private and wooded.
Right.
And so I did that, and then I included it's 150 a month on terms, and so I
Mhm.
just tried out like who knows if this will work, but $5 a day. Just trying.
Right.
I just try different things at times. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so I guess I'll let. Yeah, I guess for right now, I do want to try the household thing,
Okay.
uh, but now that you said that, but I think for right now, I'll try miscellaneous. I don't, who knows
I
if,
was thinking that might be the second best category was
yeah,
miscellaneous.
yeah.
Because
So,
garden, I think people are too confused with, and sports and outdoors. Sports is like, that'd be more like recreational activities, in my
yeah, yeah,
opinion.
yeah. I felt that too. Like I would probably go there for supplies. I don't know that I would go there for
Exactly.
land.
Like
But
pool noodles or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember where. Uh, oh, here it is. And again, I'll make sure you have all this
Okay.
info. Oh yeah, and there's the total price. Um, some people will put the terms price there. So like if it's 150 a month, they'll put
Right.
150. I just and I get it. I get people that will respond and they're like really ticked off because they're like, said 150, what the heck, man? And they go on big
Yep.
rants. And
Yep.
if you haven't already, definitely in these posting of Facebook ads, you get people that just like occasionally will just ream into you. They're mad at the world and they're mad at like
Yep, I
they're
have already.
yeah, and they're just like just going off. And I used to, this is so sadistic, but
Uh-huh.
I used to keep a file on my computer. I would take a snapshot of that person. And in my mind, what helped me, especially in those nights where it's like, you're up, it's like 2 a.m,
Yeah.
still working.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, one day I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to go back to all these people. I'm going to find them and I'm going to show them my paycheck or whatever. And I told Kim, and Kim was like, "What is wrong with you?" Like,
That must be a Jason thing. My husband's like that too.
yeah. I was just like, I was in a bad place.
Oh,
And finally I was
Lord.
like, all right. I'll take a cue from my more like moral wife, and I deleted the file. So now if some people have different like
Yeah.
I listen to the I don't know if Kim has ever shared this, but so we so much of what we learned is from Land Geek,
Yeah.
and so we I used to listen to it all the time. Now it's like I listen to it once every couple weeks. I don't
Mhm.
have much time right now, but um the Land Geek podcast, and
Mhm.
occasionally they have some pretty good tips in there, and they were talking about like how you engage with those people on Facebook,
Right.
and you had some people that really would try to almost save because you would have one person maybe post a negative thing, and then it starts just
Mhm.
like piling on top of each other, and you would have
Yep.
some of the people, and I tried to do this for a little bit, you'd go in there and try to answer the question, apologize or whatever, and try to save whatever is going on.
Right.
But my thinking now is like, it's just better to, if the post is getting good traction, I just hide those people's comments and report
Yep.
to the admin so I can keep my ad up.
Exactly.
But if the ad's not doing that great, I just delete the ad, because I'm just
Mhm.
like, I don't have time to deal
Yeah,
with
play
all
with all
the
those
negativity.
people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I'm just gonna delete it, and I'll block the person usually, because I don't want them to then on the next ad them hop on that one
Right.
and so I just, better safe than sorry. I always block them, and then the ad's doing well, I hide the comment, report them to admin. If it's
Right.
not doing well, I just delete it. So,
Exactly.
um, but
But I think you're right though on the full price because yeah, you do get those people like you said, haters are gonna hate. So
yeah, it's like
oh, you
you're
said
gonna get
150, you
people
have to sell
anyways.
it to me that way now.
Yeah, you're gonna get people anyways. So I'd
Mhm.
rather not give them, as much ammunition as possible.
Yep.
Um, and then let me see, where is this one? Yeah.
Oh, that looks nice. I like that picture.
Yeah. So I'm so excited about this property. Um,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and with some of the different marketplace, it doesn't really matter. You can literally just have one picture, and that's fine. They don't care. Um,
Gotcha.
but with certain buy sell groups, I think to keep out the spammers and the people that are
Mhm.
just doing like one picture and like trying to
Right.
throw stuff out there, they make you have at least 3 pictures.
Gotcha.
So now, just as standard, like I always have 3 to 4.
Okay.
Usually I will have at least 2 to 3 pictures of the property, and then
Okay.
I will usually include like either the snapshot of the GIS uh,
Okay.
uh, map. So where is it? Yeah, like um, this photo from the GIS
Mhm.
map that shows kind of the breakdown of properties.
Gotcha.
Sometimes people like to see the APN, and this
Mhm.
like tells them a little bit more of, okay, this person is a scammer. Or sometimes
Right.
I'll just do like the Google snapshot of the property to give an aerial view. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, and so this is just like a quick like thing on the property, and then the pricing, and then for property info, sometimes I do more than this, and
Okay.
sometimes, but usually at the bare minimum, I want them to know how big is the property, and then the location info.
Okay.
That way they can look it up and know, and even if they're like, why are you posting in Denver? It's like, I at least am able to let them know, well, a lot of the people that buy or interested are from Denver, but
Mhm.
I'm sorry you didn't see, but the property info is, or the location info is in the ad.
Gotcha.
But can you hear Kim?
Not really, a little bit, but not much.
Okay, never mind. She's
She's
telling
like,
me
forget
apparently.
it.
One thing you can tell her and to put that we'll put in the document
Uh-huh.
is because there's no way for her to know this. In the Google Drive thing, we'll have the details of each property, but at the top, we'll put like property highlights, so she'll be able
Oh,
to
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
forested
Okay.
or it's near a reservoir.
Oh,
or
yeah,
it's
yeah.
wide open flat.
Great idea. Yeah.
She'll need to know like
Sure.
what the like what's special about the property.
Sure. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I could hear her. She
Oh,
said,
okay.
"Yeah, just I think she spoke a little bit louder when she said it the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
time."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, that's
I'll
good
make
because then I
sure.
can do
And yeah,
that.
and of course, like, anything that we send over to you, pictures, info, whatever, if you have any questions or you're like, hey, you didn't include that, like, just let us know.
Yeah, Kim's pretty good about getting back to me too. I've been messaging her. Sometimes, I'll get somebody that'll say, "Hey, I want to talk to you like right now," or "Hey, I'm really interested," and I'll go, "Hey, heads up," and she'll, "Okay." So she's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, she's great at, being at the ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm sorry. I'm still sick, so I
Oh no,
cleared my
you're
throat.
fine. I'm sorry you're sick. Yeah, and
Yeah.
basically everybody at my other job is this whole last like 2 weeks has been like
Yeah.
every day I come in and someone else is gone sick.
Yep.
So
What do you do? I've never figured out what you and Kim do on the
oh
side.
yeah. So when we moved out here,
Uh-huh.
my big thing was I was acting and doing comedy,
No,
and
gotcha.
and while that's my ultimate dream, I was doing like the random jobs and everything, and that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
what led me to this. Is
Gotcha.
the attempt to do something more sustainable so that I'm not just like always tied to this job.
Yep.
And then got to the point where while this is growing, I just needed to like at least momentarily add in another job that way.
Mm-hmm.
Can just take some pressure off of trying to like almost force
Push.
thing to
Right.
to grow faster than what it was. I took a job where the same guy that created LegalZoom.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. He after he like sold his portion of the company, he started a new thing here in LA where it pairs small businesses up with attorneys and with legal help. And so it's still in somewhat toddler phase. Like it's I think 2 years old, and
Gotcha.
year and a half to 2 years old. And so I came on board with that and do just like sales and pretty much anything they need me to do right now.
Very nice.
Yeah, and so that's my like 10 to 6
Yeah.
day job, Monday through Friday, and then
Gotcha.
in the mornings and at my lunch and in the evenings I'm doing land, and then Kim is
Yep.
of course like taking over majority of it during the
Mm-hmm.
day, and has been a huge help. But she started her own fashion line.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, a couple years ago, and she right now it's kind of worked to be a good time because she's put some of her stuff on pause as I've needed to like transition to help me out. And
Gotcha.
my hope is that here soon I'll be able to leave that job and just be
Mm-hmm.
doing this again. So anyway, so that's kind of the little.
Gotcha.
But
Well, that's where your sales comes in.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what about you and your husband?
So my husband's IT.
Uh-huh.
He's been doing that for years. He just recently went into Gap in May last year.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so he's in Gap. He's a contractor though, so he's hoping to get a full-time position.
Yeah.
And then me, I'm doing these jobs on Upwork. I actually have 3 jobs right now on Upwork. So I have you guys, and then I have another job with a lady. I do like her website updates. So like she sells jewelry.
Oh wow.
And so I help her update, like make sure everything's spelled correctly, make sure the links are in there, make sure that her pictures are updated, all that kind of stuff. So I help her with that. And
Yeah.
then I do one job with a guy. It's only twice a month, so it's not so bad. And then his job is he just has me do internet research for him. He actually buys houses and he tries to resell them. It's kind of similar to what you guys do, where it's like you guys buy the land
Yeah.
and you guys try to resell, make the profit from the resell. So he kind of does the same thing,
Yeah.
but with houses.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so I help him get his research done, and then that's it. He just
Yeah.
sends me a file and I just do that. But before that, I used to just do a lot of odds and end contractor jobs. I was,
Yeah.
like I told you, I worked at YouTube at one point.
Yeah.
I worked for Autodesk. I don't know if you've heard of them or not. They're a software company. They make anything from roller coasters, like software for
Wow.
roller coasters, to construction for homes, to movies.
Oh
It
my
did all kinds of
gosh.
stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
So all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of data research, data analysis, data entry, anything along those lines. Yeah, there's hubby back there. He does prop making in his side business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's got the creative side like you and Kim do.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And where in California are you guys?
Do you know where Six Flags is in Vallejo?
Yeah.
I'm actually walking distance from there.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so cool.
not when it's busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
You have a hard time getting out, but that's where we
Yeah.
live. It's literally walking distance from
Wow.
Six Flags.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is that where you grew up? Is that area?
No, I'm actually from LA area. I was born in Glendora,
Oh, okay.
and my mom was born in, I believe, Los Angeles itself. And
Wow.
so yeah, so we actually used to live there. And then my mom got a job promotion, and when I was about 13, we moved up here to Vallejo, well, not Vallejo, but we moved all over Bay Area. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm like military kid, but not military background. You just move all the time.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Which guy?
Not Mac Dre. It was.
E40. Have you heard of them? E40, the group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the rapper guy. We live down the street from the park he rapped about.
Oh my gosh.
It's not the best area, but it's decent where we live. So yeah. No,
That's
yeah.
so
And
cool.
if we ever go to LA, I'd love to hang out with you guys.
Oh,
Have
absolutely.
a lunch or a dinner or something.
Yeah, for sure. We
Meet
would
you in
love that.
person.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
we
that's
can leave the computers at home.
exactly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be
that's my
awesome.
story. I just do the Upwork stuff. I started transitioning to work at home because my husband has a grandma that we live with and she needs help.
Yeah.
And so she can't really be left alone by herself now. She, sometimes burns food and,
Mhm.
sometimes can't walk or, just different things. So I do the
Yeah.
Upwork stuff so I can stay home.
Yeah. Man,
So
that's great.
Tell me I work at Gap.
yeah, and I told him you work at Gap. Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, tell him I work at Gap. I'm like, yes, I told him. But yeah.
Meanwhile, he's got amazing props.
Oh, I know. He actually has a following on YouTube. He has like over 7,000 subscribers. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's got a little fan base, and we've actually been recognized a few times being out because I'm in his blog sometimes, and so people will be like, "Hey, aren't you married to JMA?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yes."
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. So
what's his thing?
JMA023.
All right, give me one.
Yeah, sure.
Like J May.
All one word and then 023.
023.
There you go. He's the top one. Yep. 7.7 thousand people.
Wow,
that's awesome.
See, there's his helmets.
It used to be 7.5, 7.7 now.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So he does car stuff. He does prop stuff on there.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And many trades.
But yeah, no, there have been people that live in our area that are like, "Oh my gosh, you're married to J-May, huh?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. So we can relate to that comedy background. Do you have a YouTube?
I do. Yeah.
You
It's
do.
not. It's
Uh-oh.
like barely, even a thing. So
Gotcha.
I'm not nearly on the same stratosphere as Jamie.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh no, it
but
took him a while, but
yeah. But yeah, uh, you know, I just make, a bunch of dumb videos. I don't at all even have a following. It's more just like I just enjoy doing it.
gotcha.
But yeah, I mean that's the dream one day, but one thing
Yeah.
at a time.
Yep.
But
I hear ya.
it is so crazy nowadays with like social media and stuff
Mhm.
where there's been moments where I've like bumped into someone and thought for a moment like I knew
Yep.
them. And then I realized, oh no, I've just seen them on social media. Like I don't know them. It's gonna be weird if you say anything
Yep.
to them. So,
He's done that before too. We see other YouTubers. There's a YouTuber in Petaluma, and we used to go to Petaluma. Ran into him, and he's like, "I love your videos," and the guy was like, "Yeah, whatever,"
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
That's
feel like
funny.
you know them, but
Yeah, exactly. Especially
yeah,
when you have like the home videos with them, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you," and they're like,
yeah,
who are you?"
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. No,
Um.
but that's our crazy backstory.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Well. Yeah. What I will do is really the rest of this is stuff that you already know is like I
Yeah,
just
I saw in your video. Question though for you, because I know
yeah
you said you do about like 15 of them. Is there any? I know you kind of said just like not the ones where it's like what was it, U.S. buy sell trade or whatever.
yeah
But is there any particular like certain groups you want me to target more, or is there, you know what I mean? Is there like an actual
yeah. I
method to
mean,
your madness?
no, like I think so. Originally what I did was and this is again just like I just haven't spent the amount of time on it that I need to. I
Right.
did have someone like a VA that I use more just for, he's in the Philippines. I just use him for more like data scraping type stuff.
Gotcha.
I had him. I got the latest. I mean, it's now. I think it was 2017 or 18.
Okay.
So hopefully they have like newer data. But I contacted the counties and got their like vacant sales data, and basically what I wanted to see was, okay, where are stat wise, like where are the majority of the people, where do they live who
Mhm.
are buying these lands?
Right.
And I got kind of like my top 5 cities of where people, are, where they currently live, and
Gotcha.
who are like buying these lands. And my thought was, I'm going to target those cities
Mhm.
and kind of put my ads there. And so I started going through, and like for Colorado, I tried to go through and join as many of the buy sell groups as I could for all of the
Gotcha.
cities. Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Boulder, there's still, I'm sure, plenty more out there.
Mhm.
If it ever, like, when you're going to join the group and ask, like if you are a local,
Mhm.
you can either, say no and say where you live, or like just for me, whatever, think whatever, but like for me, I just always put yes, and I just put the zip code of that
The
thing.
land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know my intentions. I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody. I'm just
Right.
like not what I'm talking about. Sorry. If you want to be in the conversation, feel free. But anyways, that's my daily being a. I get one or
Yeah.
two being a butt to her. So that's
Oh yes.
um So
Only two, huh?
yeah. So, but she'd probably say I do way more.
Take
than
advantage. Yeah, you do.
yeah. But anyways, but yeah. So I will try to break them down and be like, okay, well, today I will do, all of the Pueblo and Colorado Springs buy sell groups, and then tomorrow
Gotcha.
I'll do all of the Denver. And it's not like this like great system or whatever, but that's kind of like what I've done. I
Right.
used to post in those very general like vacant land sale things, and I never really saw much like interaction, like didn't really seem to get a lot of
Right.
people talking. And then I heard on one of the podcasts, they were kind of more posing the idea that it's possible that the majority of people that are in those are might not even be looking for land. It might just be their other investors that are just kind of, they want to see what
Right.
they're selling for. So it's I don't know.
Gotcha.
Definitely you can post in there.
Okay.
I just I don't always, but occasionally I do. I'll just like, okay, I'll give it another shot, and I'll just put
Right.
a bunch of them in there. So it's up to you. So
Okay. And then do you post more? Because I remember Musin when he was doing them, I think he had multiple ads for the same property. Are
mhm.
you doing only one ad per property?
So I will do like the ad that I was no, never mind. I was mistaken. Yes. So I will do multiple ads for the same property. I don't go like
But
crazy.
not run them at the same time though, right?
Right.
Or
So
okay.
like I will if I have the same property, like I've already got it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Usually if I, instead of taking down that ad and putting up another one, I will, if the ad's doing well,
Right.
and I want to leave it up, but I also want to like double my chances.
Right.
I'll
To keep
just
it
do,
fresh.
yeah, I'll just do
Right.
like I might be posting the same property, but I will do a different title, different ad,
Different
um,
pictures.
different picture,
Right.
like, so it looks nothing like that previous one. It's the same property. Like if you pulled them up and you did the GPS, you'd see
Gotcha.
the exact same property, but the ad is completely different. The title, the
Okay.
picture, it's like completely different.
Right.
I just don't, sometimes people will like reformat the picture and they use the same one. I don't want to give anyone the idea that I'm like a scammer or something like that.
Right.
So that's why like I'll just do brand new pictures. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I have gotten a few customers that have contacted and said, I'm just making sure this is a legitimate thing. And I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
I totally understand that.
Mhm.
And then I reply with, my customers like to do a FaceTime with us so that way you can see we're real people and we have, this is a real thing. And so,
Yeah.
people say, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. And then there's other people that are like, oh, let me talk to you on the phone. So it just, depends, but
Yeah. And
yeah.
still end of the day, like I was talking to a guy yesterday that I think, I can't remember how he originally contacted us, but I think Kim has done the majority of talking to him. And
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to him yesterday, and I could just tell it's like he really wants land, but he just wasn't quite there. And I just asked
Yeah.
him, I was like, hey, so not at all pressuring, but I just want to know so that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just clear where you're at. What's
Right.
the, I guess what's the hang up? And I could guess that it was probably a trust issue, but he was like,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I've been scammed in the past, and I just want to make sure that you guys are for real. And I was like, yeah, I completely get that. And I was like,
Yeah.
so, I would be the same exact way. So
Mm-hmm.
tell me, like, what would make you feel good? And in the moment, he was like, well, I would love to meet up in person. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a problem, is like we're in
Right.
California, but, and this is true, me and Kim are looking at being out there in April to
Mm-hmm.
go and like take video and like just, do, and more than just on the properties, like stuff to do around the area.
Right.
And
Right.
I told him that. And then when I woke up this morning, he had emailed and said, actually, if you can just get me the original paperwork that you signed for the land,
Hmm.
I'll feel so much better. And so like,
Okay.
so I think he just had to sit on it for a little bit. But yeah, some
Hmm.
days I've also had people that it was nothing that I could do or say or prove like make me
Yeah.
feel good. And I get that, because at the end of the
Hmm.
day, it's like, yeah, I can show you the stuff from the county and I can show you the deed but at the end of the day, I'm not sitting across the desk from you. So it's
Right.
hard. So,
Yep.
um, yeah,
That's the same thing with the Mexican community too, because like my mom, she speaks Spanish. I
mhm.
remember that funny story I told you in the beginning where my mom and dad didn't speak the same language. And
Yeah,
so she had
yeah,
translators. So now that she speaks Spanish, she looks completely 100% white. She's got the freckles on her face and she's got the dark hair. She does not look Mexican at all. And so a lot of the time she'll have the problem of trust with them, and she'll speak
yeah,
Spanish to them and everything. And she tries to kind of, get them more comfortable, but they have that trust thing. So for them, it's almost like doubly hard to convince them because obviously now you're not talking to them in person either. You're also talking to them online. So they're like, I don't know
yeah.
about, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I mean, I haven't figured out like surefire ways. I think
Mhm.
my tactic is always like I just try to ask them like what would make you feel better,
Mhm.
and and also acknowledging like, hey, I can also do all the things that you're wanting, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Maybe it's if they're somewhat local, encouraging them to actually go to like giving them the address to the county,
Right.
be like, hey, why don't you take a trip on Saturday and just go
Mhm.
speak to them? I'll call and like, you be on the phone with them.
Right.
You know, I try to figure, but at the same time, like there are people that, yeah, that is just,
You just can't convince
yeah,
them.
and
Mhm.
I get that. Hopefully they'll come back around, but if they don't, it's fine. Um,
Yep.
oh, the guy that I was referring to earlier is
Mhm.
Samson. You've talked to
Oh,
him?
yes.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he had said he had been scammed before when I was speaking to him and I said, "No, no, no, we have documents that we give you.
Yeah,
We have it signed." And he's like, "Okay, that's what I wanted to hear." So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So he was the one I was talking to last night, and
Okay, good.
he was basically like, hey, I really want to work with you guys. I just, I wish that we could just meet in person. I'm just like a, sit across from you, shake your hand type
Mhm.
of dealer.
Mhm.
And, I was like, yeah, I completely get that. I would love to do that. If you're okay with, if you're okay with knowing that this property probably won't be here 2 months from now,
Yeah.
when Kim and I are there in Colorado, you can take a look at
Mhm.
what we have, and then we can sit across from the table from each other, shake hands, blah blah blah. But if you really want this land, you
Yeah,
know,
you gotta move.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and but at the same time, letting him know, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. I'm not wanting to pressure you at all, because
Right.
for me, I would not feel good about like feeling like I talked you into something. I've just never
Yep.
been that way. I want to present what we have, and if you want it, awesome. But if I would hate to be like, oh yeah, this is like incredible, and I give it to you, and like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking this is
Yep.
a pile of junk, like
Right.
or so. Um,
Exactly.
and that's been hard, when we first started. Um, you know, uh, there's some of these properties that I think like, man, I just don't like who wants this?
Mhm.
And thinking like, with some of them, I mean, yeah, they have gorgeous mountain views, but there's like nothing on the land and it's
Yeah.
remote. But
And
then
it's
I talk to
hard, yeah.
people and I realize, oh, like I talked to a guy yesterday and he had contacted me through Craigslist,
Mhm.
and I'm on the phone with him on my lunch break, and he said, I asked him, I was like, what's your ideal property? He said, man, I just don't like people, and I just want something remote and I don't want anything in any direction. And I'm like,
Right.
holy cow, this is like my opposite. This is the
Right.
guy that, like,
Right.
I need to be around people. He hates people. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah.
want like stuff on the land. He wants nothing. Like, you know,
Mhm.
and it, sometimes you almost want to be like, are you serious? And
Yeah.
the guys that, you know, said, man, my ideal property is desert. And I'm thinking,
Yep.
okay, you're joking,
You're
right?
sadistic.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm being serious. I want desert land. And so
No.
they're out there. I just have to constantly remind myself that, you know, to some degree, like I like to, the whole reason why we have these Florida properties is because
Mhm.
I love Florida. But
Yep.
funny enough, these are the hardest ones that I've ever had to sell.
And there's so many people contacting about it, but I think the biggest tie back is that people want to put a mobile home on it,
Yep.
but you can't.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing I get a lot of questions about. Can you put a trailer on it? Can you
Yep.
put an RV on it? No, you can't.
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
Yep.
I wish that was not the case.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's like, and it's just one of those things, like I'm learning. I had so many land investors that have been doing it for years say,
Yep.
just word of the wise, Florida's difficult. And I'm thinking, I'm from Florida. What do you know? Like,
Right,
you know,
exactly.
I know more. And like,
I can sell it easily.
yeah, just being so dumb. And yeah,
Yeah.
they're absolutely right. And because, you know, like Castilla County, Colorado, they just have one type of residential property. So
Mhm.
if it's residential, it's like all the planning and zoning stuff, it all applies
Yep.
to, you know, whatever residential property. Port Charlotte, Florida, there's like multiple different types. And this was one of those things that I didn't, you don't always know what you don't know, you know,
Right.
like I
Yep.
didn't even know to ask this, but there's different types of residential. So there are residential properties that you can put mobile homes on, but
Just not this one.
but not this one. And it's like very, I think they try in Port Charlotte, I think they try to limit it. So there's like only a
Okay.
couple of pockets in that county. And other
Yeah.
than that, it's like they have like some mobile home parks, but even like people, like I've had people asking, and who knows if they're being truthful in this, but they've said,
Mhm.
well, I don't want to stay in it long term. I just want to be able to, you know, live in it until I get my house built. And for me,
Right.
I'm like, hey, I get that. Like I don't have a problem with it.
Yep.
But you know, the
You'll
best
get fined
answer
for
that,
it.
right. It's like the best answer that I found for that is the county, like they have about 10 minutes from the property, there's a mobile home park. So it's like, hey, you can park and live there and still be 10 minutes away from
Yep.
what you're seeing. But, you know, it always falls through. And I sold one of them on terms. And about 3 months in, the girl that bought it had a family emergency and had
Oh
to
no.
like quit her job and like take care of her family. It's like completely understandable situation.
Yep.
She defaulted, and then it's like I just can't
Yeah,
seem to
you
get rid of
can't
these
sell
things.
it. Yeah. And you
Yeah,
get so many inquiries about them. That's the thing, is like they're so popular, but then
right,
the minute they ask about a trailer or an RV or something, nope,
right.
sorry, well, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, and it's like the moment you see the question now, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh gosh.
You're like,
Yeah,
please, why did you have to ask
yeah,
that
yeah.
question?
And you almost want to be like, hey, thanks for asking, and just like
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
it, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I still am trying to figure out.
But see, that's something I didn't know, is what you said, that there's actually a place where they can stay 10 minutes away.
Yeah,
So if I know
I'll get
that
that
now,
info.
I'll try to put that in there and say, but, you know, while you're building on this property, you can, you know, live at this place. So I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll make
No, it's
sure
okay.
anytime I come across any of this stuff to get it to you. And
Okay.
Kim and I randomly, there was a woman that called that we had, Kim, I can't remember if it was like Craigslist or Facebook or whatever, but she put out there, she basically, I think it was like $30, hired somebody to just put some for sale signs
Mm-hmm.
um, at the property and kind of around. And a woman contacted us that saw the sign, and she wants to talk to us about listing those properties. And
Gotcha.
and we need to talk to her. And I'm kind of the mindset now where even if I break even with them, I would just rather be rid of them, because it's just taking up. I learned my lesson. I just,
Yeah.
I think the problem is, and this is what I'm seeing, there are so many investors, it's almost oversaturated.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's just the fact that I am not there in Florida does me a disservice. Whereas
Yeah.
like a place like Colorado, it's okay.
Yep.
I think there's just so many investors that live just up the street that
Mm-hmm.
that can meet with the person and can talk with them, that and also have probably been doing it in Florida. And
Yep.
I'm just this like guy strolling in with one property and,
Right.
buying it, and probably everybody else is like, oh my gosh, he's a sucker. But so you live and you learn. I thought it was going to be a great county, and it turned out it's not. So
yeah.
But yeah, Castillo, we're having like great results, and eventually I do want to add on more counties, but right now I think it's just like, okay, let's go back to some of the foundational elements, get these things really built up well, then we can like start to add on later. So I think I added on Port Charlotte too early. So but anyway.
But yeah, no, that's helpful to know though, because I will definitely try to push that too now. Say, hey, but you can live at this place for it's 10 minutes away. So come on, just live there for a little bit, and then put your slab down, and
yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing in the background? Get out of the camera. See, now that's my pain in the butt moment, but I have unlimited. I bug them all day.
Yeah.
He just likes to be a pain in the butt. He's my 43-year-old child.
That's awesome, though.
Those crazy things that most people don't.
Yes, he's nuts.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, for sure. I want to help you guys. Like I said, I'm motivated to sell too.
Yeah, well, that's we're so thankful for you. That's awesome, and like
and I appreciate you guys too. You guys have been awesome.
We want to make sure to take care of you and like compensate you however possible, and so
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's like my goal is and dream here is to just be like selling just so much that it's like it's a great deal for everybody.
Like, Erica, I'm running out of land. I don't have any more land to sell. Can you slow down?
Yeah. It's like, hey, can you like not be so good at this for just a little bit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to get to that point.
The big problem is like, hey, I got a long line of people that are giving me, their credit card info. Where's the land?
Right, exactly. So, I'm wanting to get to that point. That's why I said I do want to do some research on my own, and to see what I can find, because, I'm not super good at sales, especially land sales, because I'm not so familiar, with everything, but I'm trying my best to, push it and give them that. For me, I have the psychological background to know how to kind of get somebody to do something.
Yeah.
And I kind of have the same approach as you do, where it's like, you don't want to pressure them into doing it, but you kind of also want to put like a little bit of a fire under their butt so that they kind of feel like, I should do this,
Oh yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Also, it's like, and what I'm so thankful for you as well, and Kim and I talk about this all the time, is like you've got such a gift for one. You have the advantage of you're not like, for me, like I can't always, like I know that the system and the business and all of it, and everything top to bottom is not perfect, but there's things that I just don't notice. And then when Kim, really started taking things on, like instantly. I just had to put my
Mhm.
pride aside because instantly it was like she was like day one, like, did you know that this is going on or whatever? And I'm like, oh, I feel like this
I
failure.
know.
And
Well,
and then and then with you coming on, it's same thing. It's like you're spotting all these things, and you have
right,
so many of these customer questions. It's like
right.
you were coming up with questions to us and relaying them to Kim and Kim to me that
Mhm.
I just had not even thought about. And it's like, oh wow,
Mhm.
yeah, that's probably a big reason why people aren't like
Mhm.
you even just saying the cultural thing of like, people of Spanish speaking backgrounds, like they have big trust issues,
They
like
do.
more so than the average person.
They do.
And and me, of course, like we're of a generation where like we're more aware of the scams and
Mhm.
stuff, but because we're more aware, we also deal way more in computers and stuff. We're a lot more
Yeah.
trusting and being able to buy our own devices, like kind of avoid some of the scams.
Right.
But like my dad, he is 75, and
Gotcha.
he's of the mindset where like I was just trying to tell him about like Hulu and stuff, and he's
Mhm.
like it doesn't trust it, almost as if like Hulu is a scam. And I'm like, this is about as verified of a company as you can be.
Yep.
Like, but
Yep.
for him, it's like computers are like the devil.
Mhm.
And he is like a suit and tie going into an office kind of guy.
Right.
And he's a stockbroker. And I'm thinking, and I'm talking to like hillbilly people in backcountry,
Yep.
Colorado, that are
Yep.
older. And so, yeah, it's just like trying to
Yep.
take in
And you just
all
got to
the-
keep it simple for them, because if you start using all the fancy words in there, they're just like, these people are just way out there.
yeah.
And
And
that's like what the land geek said too. You just got to keep it simple, because if you're
Yep.
trying to be using all the fancy jargon in there, they're going to be like, what? Huh? I don't get, now I
Yeah.
have to look up this word because I don't know what that means.
Yeah. And like, it's funny, Kim will sometimes be laughing at me because when I'm on the phone, I'm from Pensacola, Florida.
Mhm.
So it's like closer to lower Alabama than it is actually Florida.
Gotcha.
And so there's like, I grew up there. I then spent 16 years in Tennessee. So I
Mhm.
definitely have Southern roots. And
Gotcha.
I will bring out that Southern accent a lot more. And just like, instantly, instead of like my other sales job, I'm talking to small business owners about
Right.
attorneys and legal help. And so
Right.
I'm like trying to sound, oh yes, like trying to sound more professional. And with them, I'm like, hey man, how you doing? And I'm like,
Right.
very much
Did
like
you go?
all my words, I'm shortening them, like, how you doing?
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
And I get off the phone and Kim is like, what happened to you on that phone call? I'm
You
like,
are a chameleon. You just blend
yeah.
in.
I was like, I'm just trying to be like, I'm talking to a guy, he's my oldest customer, like probably oldest in age and in being
Yeah.
around, but his name is Chester. He's like an old grizzly guy that worked for an oil company that
Gotcha.
he doesn't trust banks. He just buys land. And when I talk to him,
Mhm.
like very much it is like he is the epitome of like he is just old like uh he sounds Southern, but he's from Colorado. I don't know, like
Gotcha.
but he's very much just that.
Traditional.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
he taught me a lot early on where I just started realizing like a lot of the people that I'm talking to, just like what you were saying, you just have to
Mhm.
change, like realize where they're coming from. And, you don't have to be fake, but just, I guess the awareness
Yeah.
matters. And that's where, you've already been such a huge help of like,
Mhm.
hey, there's this whole market of people that speak Spanish that are kind of being neglected, that don't, and as far
Yeah.
as ads, I mean, if you want to put like just complete head to toe Spanish,
Okay.
ads, that's fine.
Okay.
Because
I don't want anyone to feel neglected. I want to give everyone.
Exactly.
You will give you a much higher commission on those. Cause like,
Okay.
I have no idea anything other than Olaf. So,
Right.
yeah, you know, but yeah, just that awareness and you coming in with all these insights is going to be awesome. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the only time I see really the Spanish is mostly on the Florida property, because obviously you got all the Cubans and Puerto Ricans and all that down there. But I haven't noticed it too much on Colorado. So if I did it, I'd probably do it on the Florida ones.
Yeah.
Those seem to be the ones that have the most Spanish speaking requests.
Yeah. It's fun. Like I get occasional ones on Colorado, but like vast majority
very rare
is Florida. Yeah.
Yep.
And it the only time that I've had like an interaction, like a long conversation, it was a gentleman that he would put me on the phone with his daughter, and so all of our interactions were going that route, and but yeah, end of the day, it was like, I think it came down to a trust issue, and you know, and
I told you, yep.
But
that's the hard part. Like just yesterday, I had a Spanish speaker contact. I think it was your profile, and he said, you know, oh, give me your phone number, and I was like, oh, well, we have a translator that I use, and you know, if you want to talk, you know, I'll have my translator call you. And then he's like, oh, no, it's okay. I have somebody that speaks Spanish for me, or speaks English at home. And I'm like, okay, see, that's part of it is, you know, they don't trust somebody else to say what somebody else is saying.
Right. Yeah.
They only trust a family member to kind of relay that information.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Yeah, because like I could get it's you know, it's like, okay, I'm already going on a limb because I don't trust you, but now you're gonna add another person that I don't trust to mix. Like, no.
Exactly. That's the problem is, you know, and especially because I think because my Spanish isn't that great, they're probably like, oh, you know, this person, whatever. But, you know, I at least know enough to kind of give them the gist of the information and, hey, this is what it does. And, you know, this is where it's at. And, you know, I'll send you this information. They're like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah. No, that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Well, I'll make sure to later today I'll send all the info to you. And as far as pictures go, would it be best you tell me, would it be best to share them like in Dropbox with you, or what would be the best way to make sure that you have?
Do you have access to the drive that I share? I think I share it with Kim. I don't know if you're on it too.
I don't think so.
That?
I
wonder if I can invite you. Let me see if I can invite you, because we're on, and it really helps that everything's in there, because whenever I do the stuff, let me see.
Because I can make sure that, again, you don't have to use any of the land ads, but I can make sure that they're at least in there in case you ever want to use them. Sometimes I'll even use them just for that little beginning part of the ad. If I'm just like struggling for like even what to say, I'll just include like a couple of lines like, okay, I'll take out this because that sounds cheesy. Okay, I'll use that. And then I'll just put the property info. So
I think probably Kim has to do it, because I don't know that I can add you to it, because it's shared with me and Kim. Let me see. Actually, hold on. Anyone with the link can view. Here, let's see if this works. I'm going to send you something right now and see if you can open it.
Okay.
Because it says anyone with the link can view it. So if I send you the link, you should be able to.
Okay.
Okay, I just sent it to you.
There we go. Yep.
Okay, so that's the one where we have all the information. It's really nice because I have like everything in there. So if I ever have like, you know, Castilla questions or Charlotte, everything's in there.
Yeah, awesome.
I
well,
even have my little cheat sheet, so I have everything in there.
yeah, no, that's awesome. This is so great.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just add the stuff and the pictures and everything in there,
Okay.
and then make sure that you have all the info, and then if you need to reorganize it however, completely fine. If you have any questions, let me know.
Okay.
And then yeah, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good. One last question. How many ads did you want me to do? I know you said like you go based like on views and stuff, but is there like any amount of ads you want me to do, or is there any
Yeah.
properties you want me to push more, or anything in particular as far as that goes?
Yeah, so usually what I do is kind of rule of thumb. This is what land geek people have said, like to
Hmm.
me, like training and everything, is per like Facebook profile. So if you're like in my work one or whatever one you're in,
Hmm.
one land ad per day.
Okay.
So, because I think more than that, like,
It flags you probably, I'm guessing,
yeah,
right?
and
Okay.
feel free. I mean, you can always like try whatever, but I don't want you
Okay.
to feel like, oh yeah, yeah, do like 10 ads a day. No, like,
Right.
I think Craigslist, you can do that kind of stuff, and get away with it. But Facebook, I think they say usual, definitely with the buy sell groups, because otherwise, like, they start feeling like you're kind of maybe a scam or something.
Gotcha.
But usually, like, uh, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm like, maybe I'm thinking about if you were talking about the same property, like
Oh,
one.
like only one per same property kind of thing, or?
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, usually what I do, and maybe I've just been like missing out, and this is
Hmm.
like we'd be
Yeah.
like, octuple selling if we did that. I don't know, but
Okay.
what I've been doing up until now is just one ad a day,
Okay.
from one Facebook profile.
Okay.
So, if you wanted to do more and try it, that's completely fine. Um,
Okay.
who knows, if you see stuff start getting flagged, then maybe just do one a day.
Okay.
I,
I'll
I'll,
try slow at first. I'll do the one a day, and then if it seems like stuff is going okay, then maybe I'll, add another one that week or whatever.
yeah,
However, yeah, I guess we can play around with it a little bit. But I know we have to be careful because I did see on the I don't remember which video it was, but it said like, if you could get banned altogether or something if you're too crazy. So I have to,
yeah.
keep that in mind too.
Yeah, and that's like part of why, like, I get nervous about stuff like when I'm doing it, and if
Hmm.
there was like a week where I felt like every time I posted, for some reason it was getting flagged, and so I just didn't do anything with Facebook for like
Gotcha.
a whole week. And
Yeah.
then when I started back up, it was fine. I have no idea what was
Okay.
going on, but I had a couple of people that, yeah, they said that they got banned or like, I think suspended for a little bit. I don't know. It's weird, um,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, again, rule of thumb, you do whatever, like, you unleash, and you
Okay.
see whatever works.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. And then last question, if I need to delete one, say like I see one's not getting a whole bunch of views or whatever, do I let you know or
Nope, you
just
delete
delete
it.
it?
Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, you I mean, as long as you're not going into my personal and deleting my whole Facebook profile and sending nasty messages to
Right.
people before delete. Yeah, yeah. like that's completely fine.
Okay. I wouldn't do that.
If you decide to send nasty messages, let me know because I need to tell
Right.
you a few people to send messages to. But no, but
I have mine too if you want to send some for me too.
right. Yeah. But no, you don't need to ask permission.
Okay.
Like, if even if it's on my personal, like I don't care if
Okay.
you see one's not performing and you're like, I just want to take that. Yeah, take it down. That's fine.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no need to ask permission.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Oh,
I'll just make sure to put all those favorite posts that you want me to.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I'll send you that folder of all the people that have spied it. Have like
Hey, I thought you said you
smeared
threw
my
it
name
away.
in the past. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, just send a big "suck it, loser" message to them. So
Right.
yeah.
I got you.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking time to chat. I hope you get to feeling better.
Thank you.
Again, don't feel like you gotta like hit the ground running right now. Get to feeling better, and and take it slow, and make sure whatever you do, you clock in. So that you're getting paid. So no free work. So.
Darn it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anyways, thank you so much, Erica. You're awesome. Hope you and your
you
husband have
too.
a great weekend.
Thank you. You as well.
All right.
Take it easy.
All right. Bye.
Bye.